So this is part 2 of my going out dancing, get ready with me, Glamour Witch edition. If you haven't seen part 1, go watch that first. So like I was saying in part 1, one of my first experiences with Glamour Magick was on stage performing and acting. Even when I went to my music academy, I would use Glamour Magick to help me fall into the voice of whoever's song I was singing so that I could sound more similar to them. I would tap into the energy of Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, Sarah Vaughan, and try to pull forth their voice. So much so that it was kind of scary. And even my teachers were like, what is going on? I mean, I have a good voice, but it was definitely, there was some magic in there. And that's kind of also too when I realized that my voice was kind of really made for jazz because it was so easy. And because I could connect to what they were saying, it brought more color and life in every note that I was singing. And it was just like the way it would pour out of me was like, I don't know, it was incredible. I had such a great time. Even when I eventually left college and moved on to just like working a regular job, I worked as an activist. I was practicing aura magic, and that was how I was getting the attention of people who were going to sign up or donate to our fundraiser campaign, and ended up going from just being like one of the employees to being a manager in like a short period of time. And then I would start using it when I worked as a schmex worker, and that's when I started getting into makeup magic and illusion work, right? And so I actually worked for a small like company or whatever, and I got to do my makeup and stylize my look and come in with different personas, and that's really kind of where I started kind of tapping into the more sensual sides of myself and my practice, but also Glamour Magick as a whole, in terms of like catching the eye of a very specific type of client. Which, by the way, there are schmex worker and sugar baby rituals in my book, and you should definitely go check them out because they helped me for sure. But in the whole of that time, like I didn't really I wasn't doing it intentionally as Glamour Magick. Like I wasn't sitting there thinking like, okay, I'm gonna do Glamour Magick. I had no idea that what I was doing was facets of that work. And it really wasn't until one day, I remember this was like might have been like 2017 or something like that. One of my friends was like, saw me on stage perform. I had done a whole ritual on myself because I would go out and perform and I would do a whole thing, right? And she was like, you are like a glamorous witch. And I was like, hold up. And I think that's kind of also where the Glamour Witch was kind of born out of that conversation. But also I started to like look it up, and I was like, oh, this is an actual thing. Okay, so here are the nails. And I like these. They're much shorter than I normally wear my nails, and I usually will do a stiletto point. These ones are like coffin shaped, and they're more of a mauve kind of pink than the ones that I usually wear, which are like a super pink, like a nail pink. But they're cute, and I might paint them. I might not. It depends on what I'm wearing tonight. So now I'm going to go in with my Enchanted Lip Scrub. This is a super simple, recipe. It's literally dead sea salt, a little bit of brown sugar, honey, jojoba oil, and one other ingredient that is secret that I will not be sharing because it's how I make it personalized to my needs. But each one of those ingredients has a very potent magical intent, and you can use it to enchant your lips and your words. So, just gonna make sure that you get all over the lips. It definitely tastes funny. I will tell you right now, it's not, I think it's just dead sea salt because it's like definitely salty, but I've got some other stuff in there, and If you don't like the way that the salt tastes, you can always just leave it as sugar, but I feel like the Dead Sea salt actually helps a lot with my lips. Okay, it's time for makeup. First things first, we're going in with our primer. And I just like to hit the T-zones in places that I get really oily, especially when I'm dancing. And I'm gonna do some color correction, but I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to also do sigil work on my skin. So ultimately, when I decided to really call myself and step fully into my Glamour Magic or Glamour Witch era, was when I started to really have like another out of many spiritual awakening. It became incredibly difficult to keep things like pretty like streamlined or basic, and the work was penetrating deep within me. Like it was challenging my ego, it was challenging my beauty standard, it was challenging my relationships, because as I started to emerge more fully in my own power, people started acting the fuck up. I mean, everybody, family, friends, people that I was doing like gigs with, producers that I had been working with at the time. The more I started to try to reveal my true inner beauty, the uglier the people around me became. And the truth of the matter is they were always that way. I just wasn't able to see them clearly. And so the work actually exposed them, because they could see that I was transforming, and they really didn't like it. Some of them would go out of their way to try to sabotage opportunities for me or stir up drama for years. Years. And the very thing that attracted them to me became the thing that they could not stand about me. And what happened was, like, initially, I feel like when I first started, I didn't have the confidence that I think a lot of them assumed that I would have. And like that's almost why they liked me, because there was still these insecurities. And then when I started doing the work, they were like, oh, fuck, like, she actually knows how powerful she is. Which you would think would be like, good for you, girl. But that's not what happened. And then they felt like it was their job to try to humble me and make sure I didn't get too big for my britches, or think that I didn't need them, or, you know, that I was too good, you know, or whatever for this, and that. And, you know, they liked me as long as I was like doing magic for them or helping them with whatever, or falling in line with what it was that they felt like kept me small or kept me beneficial to them. But when I would try to branch out and do other things, or when I would call for their help and their support, crickets. Ultimately, Spirit called for me to end those connections, and some of them by force, so that I could fully be present with this new energy that I had been accumulatively building on for years with my Glamour Magic. Why do I look like the bold glam filter? This work ultimately led me to my wholeness and my happiness. It helped me to recognize my power and my ability to change lives through using my voice and expressing my truth, whether that be through music or through my teachings. And it helped me to see that there was real beauty underneath that was getting a chance to really shine through, which made everything else that I was doing, as far as makeup, hair, and all the other things, it made it 100 times more gorgeous. And this has served me in so many ways. It has healed me in so many ways, especially as a Black woman living in a society that constantly tells you that Black is not beautiful or it is unacceptable. This work has really shifted the way that I view myself, and I think the little girl version of me would be so proud and maybe even a little shocked. Before I head out, I'm going to mist myself with the Unforgettable Amour Hair and Body Mist. Yes, it has pheromones in it. And I love the way it smells. And I'm also going to mist To Your Knees spray from Moonlight and Sage, because why not? So if you want to learn more about Glamour Magic and how it can change your life, pick up a copy of my book, Baddie Bruja Secrets, A Guide to Glamour Magic, or consider joining my course where we go way more in depth. All right, you guys, I'll see you guys later.